to be on the internet right now.
It's crypto only, mate.
I would not touch crypto in a million years.
Crypto.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet.
We're all together. We're all one.
Okay, where's the gold?
For the first time in the human race, we have unleashed a freedom virus.
Oh god, why are people listening to me? I'm just a guy.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Hello. Welcome to the OKX Top Signal Show, where we break down what's trending across crypto, spotlight the latest trading tools from OKX, and chat with some of the sharpest minds shaping the space. Quick before we dive in, I'm going to share a little disclaimer. Everything on this show is for informational purposes only and reflects our guests' own views, not necessarily those of OKX. This is not financial advice. Crypto is risky, so always do your own research. I'm Elizabeth Olson. I'm a product director at OKX, and I'm joined here today with Kamsky, who's co-founder of Mood Labs, and also Erica Lee, who's a wonderful journalist and contributor to Decrypt. And last week was our very first premiere of the show. We had Murad on, which was incredible. And this week we have another celebrity guest, Mert. But for those of you who are actually new and tuning in, yeah, Erica, do you want to go ahead and break down sort of what the show is about and how we came up with the name Top Signal?
Yeah, so it's kind of an ironic title. People usually say, oh, that's a top signal when they think that everyone's going to sell after. So we wanted to reclaim the title as all female hosts and show that it's something that we're in on the culture, we're in on the joke, and that we're going to be really cutting edge and on trend for what's going on in the space. And yeah, so I think it's like a little funny, a little ironic, and I hope that you guys like the name and the show.
Yeah, I absolutely love the show, Erica. It's or the title of the show. It's so fun. I like also that it's sort of like the moment before things change, the moment before something shifts. And so it's really cool to tune in and see what's happening on a weekly basis, top signals in terms of, looking at things from a macro lens and also even in the trenches. But yeah, Kamsky, also great to have you on. Thanks so much for joining. Kamsky's got a wonderfully strong community as well with her own live stream. But Kamsky, you want to say hi? I know we're also saying hi to the chat here. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We see you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's super exciting to, just be here on stage and just chat away and have our second edition of, Top Signal. I feel like we've put a lot of thought into this show and it's finally coming to life and we're able to just, connect and have our second episode. And we have a really special guest today and there's been so much happening in the market. I feel like for some time we were kind of thinking like, oh, the market's a little slow. Everyone was, excited about October. Things didn't happen as, a lot of people thought. And here we have with some explosive news and we will be diving pretty much into it. And I would just also want to say hi to the chat. What's up, everybody? And yes, I see that there's a blur. We're gonna see if we can fix that. So hang on, everybody. We've seen it. Thank you for pointing it out. Appreciate the chat and everybody that's here with us.
Yeah, cool. So today we're going to be chatting a lot about, what's happening in this space from the macro lens. We're going to get into the X402 meta, which I know has just been absolutely taking off since this past weekend. So we're going to break that down for everyone and kind of talk about why that matters, how it works, the opportunities out there, and also how OKX is supporting it. And then a lot of other different metas happening around this space that you might not even be aware of. And then just a few minutes, we're also going to be bringing on our special guest for the day, Mert. It couldn't have been better timing for us to bring him onto the space. So we're really lucky to have him. So be sure to stick around. We'll bring him on in just a few minutes. In the meantime, Erica, you want to break down some macro trends and top signals for us?
Yes. And I also saw a comment on X saying that they're so honored to meet our bald guests. And we are also very excited as well. He's huge on Twitter and in Solana and just in crypto in general. So I'm going to get into a macro update on what's going on in the market. We're going to be doing this every week. So thanks for being here. Okay, so traders are rotating capital into USD stablecoins. Right now, people are just kind of waiting for the market to recover. They're waiting for US China to kind of figure out the trade deal, and more people are just kind of holding on their uninvested capital in stables, which totally makes sense. And I was watching the news today, and Trump said that he's going to be meeting with China tomorrow. So hopefully they have some sort of deal worked out, and then this optimism can affect the markets. And in terms of just BTC technical recovery, Bitcoin has reclaimed the 110K level, and it's going to be consolidating, and it is continuing to be consolidating above, this price. So that's pretty bullish based on macro sentiment. Anything you guys want to add about, the price right now and what you guys think about the macro markets?
I think it's a really exciting week. I mean, we've dropped considerably, and price has been ranging, but in the meantime, there's been some pretty incredible news. Basically crypto just taking over Wall Street and converging to financial markets. I guess we'll be going into it in a bit, but also, I mean, we've got the Solana ETF going, right? So it's just pretty massive, explosive news. So yeah, it's been a great week. It's definitely cool.
Huge news, huge.
Is it cool for us to say that we're in crypto now? When is it gonna be? Is it safe? Can we tell our friends and family that we're in crypto and we live online and this is all we do? Is it cool? I don't know, but hopefully that moment will come back soon. I miss it.
Yeah, I saw this tweet that was people were like, they used to laugh at me, and now my industry's on Wall Street. So we're getting there for sure.
Yeah. Let me see.
I know we're apparently still a little bit blurry right now. So, and I might be also lagging. But Erica, maybe we can still try to do a share screen. I don't know if it's gonna come through, but let's see if that works. Because I know we wanted to share a few things.
Yeah, can you guys see this right now? I'm just showing the Bitcoin price in USD.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, all good.
Oh, amazing. Perfect. So yeah, that's what I was talking about when we were talking about the BTC technical recovery. And I also wanted to just share this. That was good for the overall sentiment. You guys see it? US stocks open higher with a potential US China trade deal seen as possible for the gains. But yeah,
Right.
overall, yeah.
I mean, Nvidia is like
Yeah,
the
right. So it
first.
seems like the three main top signals to keep an eye on this week are this Fed rate announcement coming up, continued Asia tariff talks, and again the U.S. government shutdown. So we'll see when that's going to end and what the latest is there. But definitely big things to keep an eye on as we look at kind of what's driving the space from a macro lens and the markets in general. But yeah, overall pretty exciting. Thanks, Erica.
Yeah, and like if you think about it, Nvidia is the first company that surpassed like $3 trillion market cap. It's insane. They're literally carrying the whole market with them. I think a while back they announced that they were going to have power plants powering basically their operations. It's quite crazy to be living in a time like this. And you know, like there's a lot of people calling for AI bubble, but I mean, it's hard to tell, right? We're in a hyper growth stage of AI, and it's pretty interesting to see. And there's definitely some overlap with crypto, which we'll be diving into as well. But yeah.
Yeah, I know we're about to bring our guest very soon, in just a few minutes. Maybe let's go ahead and break down this X42 meta. What do you guys think about it? Let us know what you're thinking in the chat if you're already in different coins and stuff. You know, what's popping for you? What do you think? How do you think this is going to change the space? Obviously, this is like opening up a whole new level of micropayment options and solutions for different services, especially in AI. There's been a lot of narrative-driven tokens on this on base. Yeah, Kamsky, can you break it down for us? Like, what are your thoughts on X402? You know, what is it, and why do you think it's so needed, and such a massive unlock for the ecosystem?
So there's a lot of interesting things that are happening, especially with X402. And let me just rewind a little bit. And you know, you need to know a little bit about how the internet is built and structured to kind of understand why this is so meaningful. Also, there's some stats that are saying that it's like, you know, 51% of internet traffic is bots. But truth is, there's been some reports that are just giving a higher number, and that is 80%. Some malicious, some good, you know, scrapers and so on. So, you know, bots that are useful, that are fetching information for website and so on, etc. Now, the thing is, when you build a website, you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself against these malicious bots that can actually attack you and take down your services. And this actually prevents AI agents to act as if they're human, to act as if, you know, they're basically making payments for a person. Let's say like I want to book a trip and I want my AI agent to be able to autonomously do that. So I'm going to prompt like, hello, I want to go to the Maldives, etc. I will, you know, obviously fund the wallet of my AI agent, and I want to make sure that they're able to actually go and book that trip for me without me necessarily having to do any clicks. Now, the thing is, because of the way that internet is built, it's hard for, you know, this differentiation to happen, right? How do you differentiate between a malicious bot and actually an AI agent that's just trying to perform a transaction on behalf of a person? And this is why X402, which is led by Coinbase, is, you know, a standard basically for programmatic payments in Web3 that is going to enable API native real-time USDC transaction. I put some notes here because it's hard. It's a lot of words. I won't get too much into the details, but the current way that the internet is built is not made for this, and this solves it, which means that we're going to be seeing potentially a lot of new possibilities for AI agents. You know, I'm also thinking like the dead internet theory is, you know, here already. Is there anyone actually surfing the web? I don't know, like that stat of the 80% is, maybe it's all bots. And by the end of like this decade, no one's going to be surfing the web anymore. We'll all have our little AI agent transacting with crypto, which could be cool, to be honest. Why not? The cool thing is that this is basically creating a resurgence of AI tokens. And I'm going to share my screen because you can actually see, and I found that this today, that you can basically go on OKX, and this is so sick. I think it's just been added, to be honest, because I didn't know this was here.
Yeah, this is a relatively new feature that we added over the weekend, actually, which is actually aggregating all the different tokens for X402 Meta. So if you're kind of curious which narratives are part of this and interested in having some exposure there, this is where you can find it on our decks. And also, I wanted to mention that this week we did just release a referral code for those of you trading on our decks. It's called Top Signal. It's a 20% discount on your trading. So you get, it's almost like a 20% rebate. So if you're trading on OKX decks and you use the code Top Signal to sign up, this is how you can get that 20% trading discount. But yeah, go ahead, Kamsi.
Yeah, no, I'm just like browsing around, like, so you can basically, if you go on this, so let me go back. 402, you have literally the list. It aggregates all the tokens from this narrative, I would say. Clanker, that's so funny. They also, I don't know if you guys saw, so it pumped today because, I don't know, if you've been on the internet, you've probably seen the announcement release of Neo, the humanoid robot that you can buy that does your laundry. The last thing you see.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the last thing you see before it kills you in your sleep. So creepy. Would you buy a robot? Would you girls buy the robot?
I pass.
I would buy
pass.
Erica would buy it.
We can have them on stream.
So yeah, Clanker pump.
Creepy.
Very creepy. So Clanker pumped on this news. But anyway, I think it's cool. Like when we'll have more time, you can just like dive into and just go like, Zara, I don't know what these tokens are, but they're all related to this new meta, and it's easy to find. You also have some like AI insights if you don't really know, and it's just easy to basically go. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like kind of cool. And then obviously in other news, I mean, it's been a crazy week for Solana, right? And we have Mert that's going to be coming up in a few. So yeah, other than that, let's say in the markets.
Yeah, any other?
Yeah, no, there's quite a few news.
Sorry guys, I think my audio is a little off.
No, you're good. You're good. You're fine. No, there was obviously like the Mega ETH pre-sale opened on Echo, and it was oversubscribed by more than like, I think like 10x last time I checked, which is massive. Obviously not everybody that participated that was eligible will be receiving the amount they put in. The team is going to pretty much decide based on your engagement in the ecosystem and how many NFTs you have and so on. I was keeping an eye out on the pre-market chart, and it was a little flat. So I don't know. I had some questions in terms of that. But let's see. I mean, pretty bullish news, like you open up a pre-sale and it just fills up and it overallocates by 10x. It's a pretty crazy achievement in that sense. And then you had, what else happened recently? I mean, Bored Apes had their own Ape Fest in Vegas. It would have been cool to see the chart reflect the enthusiasm, but regardless of that, like the community seems to be in it for quite some time. So they're in it for the long run, which is like interesting to see. Yeah. And I mean, hopefully we see an NFT meta coming back. You were saying, Erica?
Hopefully, it's
Erica's a big NFT champion here. I know there's been a lot of stuff happening in the NFT space, and Erica, you've got your book out there. I know we're got to jump to Mert very soon, but
yeah,
do you want to share like other big metas happening in the NFT world?
Yeah, just like Kamsky said, Ape Fest over the weekend, and Bored Apes, they had this pretty big collab with Amazon. So we're seeing a lot of NFTs, partner with big Web2 companies, as well as Pudgy's always killing it. And so just like Cam said, it's not reflecting in price yet, but we still love to see it on the timeline just for the culture. Seeing these NFT projects back on my feed, the communities from 2021. Shout out to you guys. So
I see a
yeah.
cool cat in the chat, by the
Love to see
way. What's up, Karma? I see some NFTs. There. I see some apes. I see some apes. I see some NFTs. That's pretty cool.
What's up, Frank D Gods? Cool. Well, let's go ahead and bring on our special guest for the day. Mert is the founder and CEO of Helios, the leading infrastructure platform powering thousands of developers, wallets, and protocols across the ecosystem. He's been one of the loudest and clearest voices defining Solana and pushing for real technical education in crypto. He's helped make Solana one of the most performant and builder-friendly chains in the space. Mert, welcome to Top Signal. How's it going?
Great. Thanks for the intro. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much for being on. I actually saw that yesterday you were sort of moderating or maybe judging the Alliance DAO different pitches, project pitches with Ansem. I think Tully was there too. It was like quite the lineup of judge guests. Yeah, how'd it go? Was there any startup that kind of stood out to you?
It certainly stood out, yes. Now, whether it was positive or not, it's unclear. But there was some drama around it because roughly it was an auction where people bid to pitch to us, and I believe they actually ended up bidding quite a bit, like 40,000 or something. Not quite sure where that money goes. I think maybe to the platform. And so one of them was a company, a fork of Solana called. If you spell Solana backwards, you can get an interesting sequence of letters, maybe not super PG. And basically it was like a meme coin that they wanted Tully to promote in some sense, and Tully just laughed and said, "This is useless." And then the token went down like 95%. And they were very angry on the internet.
Yeah, 1 to 0,
That's
basically.
Crazy.
Outrage.
Oh my goodness.
Outrage. What happened after that?
What happened after that was whenever Tully made a tweet, there was a bot farm of about 100 reply bots saying, "Tully, you are heartless." And I think it died down. It's just general trench stuff on Solana. It happens every other day, really.
Yeah, I guess as a builder, you're just always having to constantly make these decisions around risk, and that's the riskiest thing, right? You know, you could either go to the moon if you guys love the project, or tank the token in this case. So it's a risk. I really have a big respect for entrepreneurs, and actually, I was once part of a startup that went through Alliance DAO. So I love that you were supporting the project and supporting startups and builders. And I know that you're a big champion of a lot of you know, people building on Solana and supporting the ecosystem. So yeah, very cool that you were part of that. And also thanks for supporting our new show.
Of course.
Yeah. Do you want to like, just to kind of back out, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your Helios origin story? You know, like how Helios came to be, sort of, even you can even go into how you got into crypto and how, you know, how you were inspired to launch Helios.
I mean, you've earned the title of Solana co-founder, basically. That's what people call you on the title.
Yeah. It would be nice if I got some Solana co-founder equity, Raj, if you're watching. But yes, so in terms of origin, succinctly at least, so I used to work at 3 of the 5 largest banks in Canada, building payment systems, ATMs, ATM software, investment banking software. And that was really slow and annoying. And I basically got tired of everything and moved on to fintech. And within fintech, that was a bit better. But the way that money flowed around the world was still pretty inefficient and pretty appalling, actually. It seemed like finance was the one thing that didn't actually enter the internet age. And around that time, I kept suggesting to use crypto to that fintech, and they basically kept laughing at me. And so within a few weeks, I basically started interviewing with Kraken and Coinbase. Ended up picking Coinbase, and that was a lot of fun. This was right before they went public, and met a lot of smart people there. But then even within Coinbase, everybody seemed to be very Ethereum centric. They seemed to think that Ethereum was like the chosen one and the thing that will rule them all. And once I actually did the work of looking at how these systems worked, I saw that Solana was very underrated, undervalued, and really made a lot of people angry for whatever reason. I mean, it's
What's
just
the
it's
well
just a
on
blockchain.
just to place
Millions
it
to be
on
angry at
the
it.
sorry, just to place it on the timeline, at what point of the cycle, where like what year was this more or less? Or if you
This
remember
was
the price of Solana.
21. This was about 21. This is around, if people remember the Degenerate Ape Academy, like when NFTs were a thing, this is like when they just launched. Solana was, I think, at around $40 at that time. Anyway, so I kept advocating for Coinbase to add Solana stuff internally, and they actually weren't opposed to it generally, but there just wasn't a lot of tools for an enterprise to use to actually add Solana. And so then I was, faced with the question, like, do I build it within Coinbase or do I actually just start my own company? Which was like a scary decision because I didn't have any money at that time, and I was actually in debt, and I had a lot of Coinbase stock vesting. But then I was like, that's not going to be a very fun story if I just stay here. So basically left, started Helios with my university roommates, Nick and Liam. And we just started building things to help developers build better, faster, cheaper things on Solana. And then obviously a few months after, FTX happened and everything broke everywhere. And I had to spend the next N months telling people that they were wrong and that SBF was not actually the reason why the chain succeeded. It's actually the core tech itself and people like us. And I basically just said that very aggressively on Twitter until some people listened, and we just kept getting better.
That's crazy. I can't believe Mert used to be in debt. It just shows that we can all escape the permanent middle class. But I wanted to ask about the Bitwise ETF approval. It's been a big week for Solana. Why is this groundbreaking for crypto in general? And what do you have to say about everything? I know that you both posted on Twitter, but just want to hear your thoughts.
So the Bitwise ETF is quite big because, well, a few reasons depending on who you are, I guess. One is that it's actually the biggest ETF launched this year, not just crypto, but this year for all ETF classes. The other is that there was a big period of time where Solana was ruled dead, and even certain people within crypto would say that it was a security and that it should be illegal. And so now it being listed on the NYSE, and along Bitcoin, Ethereum, really just solidifies it as like one of the big three. And then there's like technical reasons. For example, this is actually a staking ETF where the amount of SOL gets staked and then that earns about a 7% yield, which hasn't really happened before. Like Bitcoin doesn't have yield, for example, but Solana does. So, those reasons, let's say combined, make it pretty interesting.
Were you guys involved in
Yes.
any way to facilitate that?
Wait, sorry, guys, I'm just gonna pause us because it looks like our connection is broken to the live stream. And so currently there's the countdown playing right now. We've got about 2 minutes to solve this. I'm wondering, is it the connection on my side? If my Wi-Fi is down, I mean, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Is Max there, Cam? Is he able to instruct if?
Yeah, let me check.
Because he says Erica's on, Cam as well, but am I not on? Is Mert on?
Yep.
So OKX blocked. Yes, let me check. So it
Okay,
seems
I'm
like
gonna-
yeah, it seems like Erica and I are still on. So it's probably it's on your end on the internet side. But
Okay. Oh, shoot.
I mean this
I mean, I can
happens.
try to do a hotspot. I can try to do a hotspot.
Make sure you have a lot of data. By the way, for everybody watching, this is live streaming for you. It's not a podcast. We're doing this live. Sometimes things happen, and like this is the real raw experience that you get, pretty much. So bear with us. We definitely chose this format over recorded just because it feels more natural, and we get to really dive into conversations and just have more fun in a sense. So if you're still on, just hold on with
Yeah,
us.
AI could never do.
Exactly, right?
AI could never have this. We're just so raw and real with our internet.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Anyways, thanks for staying with us.
that's the thing, right? There's going to be so many AI generated, let's say, like live streamers, that at the end of the day you want to make sure like you can have like the real thing. The same thing with bots and so on. So yeah. Mert, do you live stream a lot? Do you live stream by yourself, by the way?
No, I have not ever. I don't think. Maybe once. I should though. Seems more fun.
It's definitely a fun experience.
But
And
you have a podcast, right?
Sorry?
He just started a podcast with Toli, but he's never streamed. He does like pre-recorded stuff.
Am I back?
Yep.
Yeah, you're back.
Oh my god.
Are we so back? Okay. And are we also live on OKX?
We would need to basically cut and start over to have it.
Okay. Let's
yes.
do it. Let's do it. That's fine. Yeah.
Do you want to cut it and go on again? And then how do you want to do it?
Yep. Let's do it. Yeah, that's fine. And we can go a little over if needed, but I think we should be able to wrap it up because I want to respect Mert's time.
Okay, perfect.
So which link should we use?
No, it's the same. We'll just close and come back and jump straight back into the conversation. I'll just have the intro.
Oh, okay. So we stay here. Okay.
Yes. It's basically take it as if, a space cut down and we're back on. So let me interrupt and we're gonna.
All good.
All good.